everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about the 9th anniversary, because it's coming up real soon. We're going to be going over and looking at the campaigns and summon banners that came out for it, talking about the new anniversary unit, and then also talking about some additional stuff that I think it's important to talk about for the 9th anniversary. And that's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know about anything that you are thinking about in the 9th anniversary, and let us begin, shall we? Okay. So, to start off, when is the 9th anniversary? I think I constantly have to answer. It's the 4th of July. It should be here on the 4th of July. Someone usually always leaves a comment. I will answer you in the comments when you ask me, but it should be on the 4th of July. It always coincides with the weekend of Anime Expo and during the panel, which I believe is going to be on Saturday this time. So there you go, 4th of July. And then in terms of the 10 great campaigns, we've got the first one, which is Destiny Order Summoning Campaign, in which you can build your own GSSR. It costs 30 cent quartz as opposed to 15. It is paid. I also did a video of this making my own Destiny Order if you want to see how kind of the process of that kind of goes around. But it's definitely, as I have described it now at least 3 times, and likely I'll keep describing it because it's a very good one. It's kind of like a build your own sandwich. So I can give you some advice about what I think is right, but at the end of the day, you have to build it yourself in order for it to be right for you. I've even seen some people who have just straight up decided to skip the Destiny Order because they're like, it's not actually currently right for me, and it's too much Saint Quartz for me to risk the one unit that I'm not super interested in. Some other stuff to talk about Destiny Order will be here in a little bit at the end of the video, but right now I'm just going to go over the 10 events, and then we'll talk about some other stuff that needs to be talked about for next. Second, in terms of the next event, is going to be the Lucky Bag Summoning Campaign, which is the other GSSR. This one costs 15. And the way the banner breakdown of this one looks, we can look over here to see it specifically. Lucky Bag is over here. If the way that they're broken down is there's 17 banners divided by theme. 5 servants will be, give me a sec, because 5 servants will be random limited servants based on the pool of servants on the banner. I had messed up this sentence really bad last time I brought it up. A 4-star is guaranteed. 1 4-star is guaranteed among the limited and story servants. A 4-star and 3-star servant pools are shared between all banners, and then of course only 15 paid Saint Quartz can be used. And this is the kind of breakdown of how they look like. I will be doing a video where I will be going over every single one of these pavilions. It's a pretty interesting choice. If you want to know very quickly about which one I'm picking, I'm just picking this one because it has 3 units that I could really want on it, and that's good enough for me. But I will do a larger video talking about this more in depth. It should be coming up sometime before the anniversary is here on the 4th of July. So in the next coming up days, hopefully anyway. Knock on wood, I'll get there on time. Moving on though, the next one is the login bonus. The login bonus is cumulative. And then it over 10 days, and the way it goes is on the first day is 3 million QP, and then 55 EXP, 10 golden apples, and then the next day 3 million QP, 3 foes footprints, and then 100k friend points. Day 3 is 3 million QP and 10 teapots. Day 4 is 3 million QP and 10 silver foe for both HP and attack. On day 5 it's 3 million QP again, and then 2 golden foe for HP and attack. Day 6 is once again 3 million QP and 20 pure prisms. Day 7 is 3 million QP and 10 summon tickets. Day 8 is 3 million QP and a Chaldean Visionary Flames. Day 9 is 3 million QP and 3 rare mana prisms and 100 mana prisms. And then on day 10, you guessed it, 3 million QP and a lore. And you just get that simply by logging in, and make sure you have cleared Fuyuki. The actual dates of when the usage periods will apply will be here when the thing actually goes live. This is how it was based off of in Japan though. So it would basically be, the usage period for the teapot should be basically the entire month or so. Next, the guaranteed summon improvements, no longer a one-time limit, now happens every 329 summons without rate up SSR. Counter resets each time the setup servant is obtained, and then pity counter in a countdown format. Example, how many rolls left until pity will be displayed under the summon history. Right side of the closed pop-up button refers to the second image. This is great if you are a huge whale, because previously when you hit pity, that was it, and then you could not go and continue further. For various reasons, in the implementation of this anniversary, they had to change that, because if they hadn't, there would be a riot, and there was still a riot, technically speaking, after they announced, not a real riot, but there was an uproar, which I'll, again, go over that after I go over the main ones. But the main basic thing you need to know is that when you hit pity, you'll be able to do it again. Previously, you would hit pity once, and then it would be gone forever, and you had no safety net. Now the safety net is basically always there, and now you'll be able to check how close you are to hitting the pity. And it will, of course, reset when you get them. Next one, we got the missions, which is what's going to give us the vast majority of our St. Quartz for this anniversary. Limited time main quest clear count missions, limited time main quest progress missions, permanent main quest progress missions, and of course permanent main quest clear missions. For the limited ones, they should give us about a month to complete them. In Japan, it went from August 7th to September 7th, so I assume that's about a month, so probably sometime around August 8th. If ours starts on the 4th of July, that makes sense. Or maybe it will be the 4th to make it go with this. This says August 7th, this says September 7th. It could be. We'll know the actual dates when it comes out during our anniversary and everything. But in terms of what you need to do for this mission, this is pretty easy. It's clear any Arc 1, Arc 2, Arc 2.5 main story quests X amount of times. You do this 25 times, and then you'll get a total of 36 St. Quartz and 50 million QP. Players who have cleared every main story quest in-game will automatically have all 24 mission objectives marked as completed, ready to be claimed. And a special note is Heinkyo, Trom, Arc 1.5, and main interlude progress do not count towards the missions above. Pretty self-explanatory. Just do the story, and if you're already done with the story, congrats. Here's 36 St. Quartz to go spend. Go spend it on a spacerish gaggle. Have fun. Or save it, who knows. Limited main story clear missions. This one's also pretty self-explanatory. Just get clear ordeal call prologue main story, get 10 St. Quartz. I say it's easy because I've already done this, so therefore I'm just getting 10 St. Quartz, easy peasy. But for others, especially those who are reading the story, which they should be because the story in Fate Grand Order is amazing, and to do this in a month is pretty you probably have to skip, assuming you started right when the anniversary started. That is, unless you just like straight up did nothing but read for a month straight, which I'm down for the idea of that, but it is a lot for a lot of people. So hopefully you've been catching your way up, or maybe you're already here at it. Calm down. You're already at the ordeal call prologue. Let's continue on. These are permanent. These will be here no matter what, so even if you have not reached them in time, don't worry about it. They'll be there for when you're done. This is main story progress missions, and it's for clearing main story sections. This says Orleans, but I'm pretty sure it's Fuyuki, but if it is Orleans, that's pretty funny because there's Orleans here twice, but I'm pretty sure that's Fuyuki. And it's just clear main story section 1, and it's like that for all of them except for the last one, which is clear ID main story section 3, and then you get 10 St. Quartz from that. There's a total of 18 of these, so that is a total of 180 St. Quartz for you, waiting for you if you've completed all of them already. Another permanent is main story clear missions, which is clear Paper Moon main story and clear ID main story. Those are both 10 St. Quartz, so that's a total of 20 St. Quartz. Next, we have it for Servant Strengthening Quest clear missions, clear 300 of them, 310, 320, 330. Each of those is worth 10 St. Quartz, so that's a full amount of 40 St. Quartz. Next, we have it for Advanced Quest, clear 51 Advanced Quest and clear 54 Advanced Quest. Both of that will reward you 9 St. Quartz, so that's a total of 18 of them right there. Permanent free quest clear missions, clear 280 main story, 290, 300, and that's all 10 right there, so that's 30 St. Quartz. And then the permanent class score sign unlock missions, these go from 110 all the way to 200, and they offer 3 St. Quartz each. You can do this, Mouth. I know you can say quartz. That's a total of 30 because there's 10 of these, so that's what you'll get right there. And then on to the next one. New Append skills. This is gonna require a deeper conversation a little bit later, but let's go over the campaigns first before we do that. But the new Append skills are coming. So Append skill 4 is special attack finesse improvement, critical damage up 20% to 30%, and we have skill reloading, reduces the cooldown of skills by 1 after activation for n times, once per skill, and is based on the skill level. This one is really, really good for those buster units who have a cooldown of 7, because this, for example, Arc type Moon, she's always famously had 7, so you've always had to have reduced her cooldown by 1 by someone else, but now she can do it herself, so that's a really good append skill right there. Again, I will talk a little bit more about append skills, because append skills is kind of why this anniversary is a little bit funky in some regards, but let's move on for now so we can finish up these campaigns before we start talking about some more fun stuff around the anniversary. Permanent Da Vinci Workshop and Mana Prism update, and also a limited time extra missions. Permanent pass command codes into Da Vinci Workshop. You can trade them in for 300 mana prisms, and you'll be able to get the Pigeon Report. These are all from past events. Command Seal of the Cardinal Minded Retainer. Immature Illusionary Command Seal. The Crest of the Stonebird, and the Ukiyo-dako. And then for the cost of 5 rare mana prisms, you can get the 5 stars from those events. And this is only for players who have not obtained this command code before. I don't think the restriction is on it for these, because I think these are 3 stars, so like that's okay for you to get them. But for these, if you've already gotten them, you can't get them again. And the first one is the Linchpin of Heaven. The next one is the Demonic Twilight Dragon, and then the last one here is the Holy Knight Aurora Borealis. And then we have some extra ones, which is Star Eradicating Wicked Holy Sword, the BB Slot, the Intangible Case, the Excellently Crafted Thin Blade, and the Brush of a Mad Painter. I guess it's only these specific ones that they wanted to say only for players. If you know a little bit more about that, feel free to let me know, but I guess that makes sense. This is one of the unfortunate things. I always collect these as soon as they happen, so I'm never actually sure how these kind of things roll down. So next, the Remember Essence update. The following craft essences will be added to the shop, which is Cheer for Master, Seaside Luxury, Someday in Summer, Chaldea Lifesavers, Golden Catches the Carp, though I believe in Japan it's called Golden Carp Figure, the Merciless One, Refrain, and Gudo. And each of these, you can get a total of 5 of them. They cost 1,000 mana prisms for a total of 5,000. And I believe if you've already gotten them, you can get them again. So there you go. Go ahead. If you're missing out on these, you can get them. I still use Golden Catches the Carp to today. I really like this one, and it might just be because it has Gintoki. And I also have about 3 of them because I was able to farm a whole buttload of them back in the day. Mystic Code in Rare Prism Exchange. Brilliant Summer will cost 5 rare mana prisms. Captain Chaldea will cost 5. And Chaldea Pathfinder. Permanent extra missions with mana / rare prism rewards. Level up a servant to level 50, 70, and 90. That will all reward you a rare prism. Here at Clear Fuyuki, Orleans, Septem, Okeanis, London, E Pluribus Inum, Camelot, Babylonia, and Solomon. That will all give you a rare mana, 1 rare mana prism, 140 mana prism, and 4,000 friend points, each one of those. So really nice. And if you've already done this, then congratulations, you just get a bunch of rare mana prisms for the love of the game. Next we have limited time 4 times super and great suck rate. So when you really miss it, you can say in the back of your head, yeah, 4 times super and great suck, huh? Limited time daily quest will be 1/2 AP. Limited time Bleached Earth quest will also be 1/2 AP. Then next, storage expansion. Hell yeah, I love that. Servant and Craft Essence is going from 800 to 900, so 100 slots. Command codes get 50 slots. Party formations get 5 more parties. Woo! It's from going from 10 to 15. Second archive expansion slots. Purchase slots in the Da Vinci Workshop. Servants is going from 220 to 240 plus 20 times equals 100 slots. Craft Essence is the exact same way for that one as well. And then we go to Servant Strengthening Quest Part 17, and the following servants are going to get strengthening. If for whatever reason you don't want to know what those are, because they do like, it's really weird because everyone should know what they are, but they still like to keep it a mystery. I could only assume because that's how it was on JP. So if you didn't want to know, I guess you can look at the timestamp and you can go ahead to the next point that we're going to be talking about, because it should be pretty up close. All you need to know is there's going to be 10 tickets in the Da Vinci Workshop, but I can actually look at that right now, actually. The DaVinci Workshop will have a limited time sale going on, which is going to add in a bunch of stuff, including a trade limit. You can get code openers for Quick, Arts, and Buster, a total of 3 of them for 50 mana prism. Code removers, 3 of them for 30 mana prisms, of course. 10 summon tickets, costing 10 of them for a total of 100. Foe's footprints, the golden foe for attack and HP. 10 5 exp, 10 4 exp, 40 silver foe for HP and attack. And then for rare prism exchange, you can also exchange for the basics, foe's footprints, Chaldean visionary flames, the code remover, the lore, the golden foe for HP and attack, and then also friend points if you want that. And then finally we'll take a look and go and see the strengthenings inside. On this is the way that's going to break down. Day 1 is going to be Benienma and Gilderes. That I know that's not how you say it, because someone just most recently said that's not how you say it. That's okay, my brother says it right when he gets to talk about him. I've been saying this name as Gilles de Reyes for 9+ years, and I'm not changing any day soon. There's some servants I will gladly learn the name of, but for some of them I just have been saying it for too long. Cleopatra and Asclepius, that's not how you say his name, that's how I say his name. Iskandar and Nitocris Assassin. These are going to be day 3. Day 4 is going to be Abigail and Billy the Kid. Then the next day is Moriarty Ruler and Charlotte Corday. And then the day next after that is Hokusai and Red Hair. And then on the final day it is going to be Merlin and Nursery Rhyme. All some really good buffs coming along the way. So if you have these units, be hyped for them, because they're really, really good ass buffs. And now let's talk game updates. So welcome back anyone who ended up doing the skip for strengthening stuff that I talked about. So one of the things that I noticed when I was looking at the game system updates that came with the 9th anniversary is that we have a lot of these already. Material drop locator we already got. The main story act roadmap we already got. The update to command seal recovery we already got. We also already have the master mission UI flow changes. The only one I'm not sure of is this one, because it says limited time, so that would mean that if they did implement it early, I wouldn't be able to remember, because I don't think I used it all that much, because it's mainly for new players that in order to catch up. So in order to aid more players to clear the main story smoothly, preparations for the eventual summer content and Ordeal Call 3 releasing next year. So maybe this is one of the ones that isn't going to be, because it's so specific to what we got. So that will likely still be there. But in terms of the ones that we haven't gotten yet, in terms of the other ones, we already got them. So what ends up coming to the game with the updates, this is where we're getting into territory that I can only really be speculation. The big one that I've seen around, because I've asked and I've also kind of read other people's comments and some other things, is that some people believe that there might be an update related to the Destiny Order coming. So, or I don't know if it's they believe or they hope this is one of the things that's coming. So I'll explain what it is. Our current Destiny Order is set up this way, but for the 10th anniversary, it's going to be set up this way, where it's divided between 7 classes and the extra classes. And for these, it's 2 separate banners. So unlike previous Destiny Orders, players have 2 separate banners to summon from, one from the regular 7 classes and the other from the 7 extra classes instead of 1. Players can only summon once from each, and the banners disappear from the list afterwards. It's again 30 paid St. Quartz, so it would be 30 paid for both of them. And this is one of the ones where I didn't factor this in about the idea when I made my Destiny Order video, which is, if they do end up doing this, is going to be really funny for that video because it dates it a little bit, but it would not be the first or the last time. The reason I wasn't really thinking about it would happen is because if we look here, so Beast has its own thing, and for this anniversary we're getting Space Eresh Kagall, and obviously in Japan for them this year they have 3 beasts to choose from. But for us, if we were to get it early, this choice would always go to Draco. For Pretender, we would only have Oberon and Lady Avalon available to us. Then the other, because the other 3 aren't implemented just yet, Phantasmoon, Typhon, and Dante. And then over in Moon Cancer side, we would be a choice between BB Summer, Kiara, and Arc, and Janako. So we had 4 choices there, which I guess is not that different from what it would be in a year from now, where it's 6 instead of 4. So maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not sure if they're going to end up doing this. If they do end up doing this, that's, I guess, cool. It does kind of throw a wrench in some of my plans in terms of I think I have exactly 45 paid sync cords, and I might need some more if that's the case, but we're kind of seeing if it happens. Again, I don't know if it will happen. It's one of those things of like, you know, maybe. The reason I can't fully like say it won't happen is because of Richard. Richard showing up to the game has really spooked me, basically. Anything that sounds outlandish, I say, yeah, that doesn't seem like something they would probably do that early. But then I remember they have kind of done stuff where they've moved stuff that I really wasn't expecting early, and the biggest one is always going to be Richard, which is, I feel like Richard is still in a league way crazier to move forward compared to Destiny Order and stuff like that. So it would definitely feel like, especially since we've not only gotten some GSSRs earlier than Japan did, we've gone in GSSRs that Japan didn't get way before them as well. So it's definitely a thing. It's an easy way for them, especially because they've gone on record saying like they don't really like us having Clairvoyance EX. They would probably like us to have something closer to A, if anything like that, like a little notches down and stuff like that. So if there's any update that I would think of, it would likely be this one. And since now that we're talking about updates, it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. We're very close to talking about the summoning campaigns and the banners, but before we do that, talk about the good stuff, we have to bring up the thing I've been basically avoiding for the vast majority of this video, which is, as soon as I find it, let's see where it is, we have to talk about the new Append skills. Okay, the Append skills were not well liked when they were implemented. There's very, very many reasons. I think it comes down to a fundamental level of people don't really like the coin system. It's really something we kind of just put up with because it's something that FGO added. And I think if you asked any player in the world if we could get away with serving coins, remove them away, or there's a way to easily farm them to get your characters to level 120, would you take it? The answer would always be yes, because the way it currently is required, for example, in our side of the game, you need NP6 plus a lot of bond to get a unit fully appended out to all 3 of them, and then get them a level 120 as well, and then it's a whole process to do anything. So then they announced these new Append skills, and that specific process that I talked about that required NP6, it went all the way to you needed NP9, and it was such an insane requirement of it that the only real response you could give is, are you dead ass? Because that is insane. What do you fucking mean it requires that much? And especially for people who have like one of the best things about Appends is that it can help 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 stars. The problem is that around this time we had grail casting for many years, so all those medals, nobody actually had them. They had all put them away in grail casting because of course they thought, oh well, I already got my character to a level 120, I already got them to max Append, I don't need these anymore, right? And then out of fucking nowhere they say, actually yes you do, we added 2 more. So it was a whole mess. There was no way to do anything with that. Also with these Append skills, for some of them, skill reloading, like I said, for buster units, some buster units really do want the Append skill 5 because it lets them finally loop with Koyanskaya and stuff, like I mentioned with Archetype Earth. This one is a big deal for her to have this, and there was no way to kind of do anything with it, and so it was a whole mess. I feel like this specific Append skill has always cast a weird dark shadow over this anniversary just because of how badly they were implemented. It's probably one of the worst implementations of anything they've ever done, and so there was of course compensation for that. So the way that they did it is that they eventually released the statement that was basically like, okay, so players are going to be able to switch from their unlocked Append skills. They apologized. They said, we're sorry for the way we handled this. So you're going to be able to take an unlocked Append skill. Let's say you unlocked the 2nd one. You can then exchange it and say, like, I want to unlock the 5th one instead. Servant coins that were used for monthly grail casting were refunded and given them all back to them because they said, you know what, it is kind of fucked up that we basically created this way to burn coins, and then we asked you to actually, you needed more of them and we didn't actually think about that, but okay. And then there was also some other way. They also gave like grails. The number of grails that could be potentially be casted with your earned servant coins will also be given to all players, should be regardless if you did or didn't use the monthly grail casting. They did that. They gave 120 sync quartz as compensation, and then they said in the upcoming months we're going to make it so that it's going to be an easier process. And I believe the process that they said that they did is that they made it so that you get more coins per bond now. So it basically stays the same. It stood the same of you don't need NP9 anymore. You just need NP6, which is again still not good, but it's at least better than what they did. They basically set back the clock and kept it as bad as it was previously, as opposed to making it worse. And then the other funny thing they did was, so when you get a unit to NP5 and you pull them again, you get an unregistered spirit origin, and then you can, once you get 10 of those, so after you get 10 plus of a unit, it's really complicated. I've never done this myself because I've never been in a situation. I'm not an Omega Whale that I've ever gotten that many unregistered spirit origins. I think I only have one single one to my name, and it's because of Cuckoo. But you can exchange 10 of them for one SSR in the game. And basically any of them, as long as if they're limited, it's up. It's depending on if their banner is up. If they're not limited, then you can go ahead and get them that way. But people were using the unregistered spirit origins to get more copies of a unit that they already had NP6 so they could get their append, because of course a lot of the people who played this game are insane and love the unit, so they're like, I have unregistered spirit origins, I'm just going to use these to get these. So they refunded the unregistered spirit origins of anyone who did that, and then let them keep the unit, basically saying, we're sorry, we're gonna let you keep it, we know you exchanged them for it, we're gonna refund them that way. It was insane. It was an entire shit show. There's no easy way of saying it. It was a shit show. So then we come to us. The obvious thing to do here is, because of the things that they implemented later on in the game, goes back to some of the I guess future updates that are coming. It would make sense that we just had that at a base level. So we have the additional servant coins that we get from Bond and stuff. We have the ability to go like, okay, well, I unlocked Append 1, I would actually just like 4, or I would like 5 of them. Can we exchange that? Cool, no problem here. Let's go, let's do it, no problem. And the thing that's going to be really, really hard for a lot of people on our side, and I already have seen some people bracing for it, and this is something that I remember that when it happened, I think said to them, don't expect it, because why would we get it? The 120 St. Quartz that was given out for compensation, I don't think we're getting that, because we're not entitled to it, because it was an apology. And this is something that I think is always going to be very like dependent. I'm of the frame of mind of like, I understand why you think that we should have it, because this game makes millions of, probably billions of dollars. It's able to fund multiple projects and stuff like that. It makes plenty of money. They could spare 120 to all of us to add that just as a simple little gift to the end of it. But the thing that I always think about is that the thing that's really rough about it is that it was an apology. And I just don't feel like they've ever given us the same course that they've given them for apology, because it just doesn't make sense. It would be like saying Japan had for example, let's say they had like a 2-day long maintenance and they got compensation for that. And then when it came our time to get that update, there was no issues. We wouldn't get the same course from that, because what would be the point? Those things were only given out in terms of as an apology, right? So why would we get the 120 St. Quartz that was given as compensation for the issues regarding around append skills if our version of append skills is fixed? And that's the thing that I've never been able to wrap my head around about how they're going to do it. I really hope whatever they end up deciding, I think we still get like from the total amount of St. Quartz we get, if you don't count because we also get 100 St. Quartz from stream, so I think that's likely to happen. The best thing that they could do, I think, if you want to say like, oh, everyone gets a happy ending type thing, is that related to the Anime Expo streams that they're going to be planning to do, find a way to give the St. Quartz through there and just say like, oh, here we go. So we don't get 100 St. Quartz from streams, we would get 220 in total from there. But even if you discount the 120, we still do get a total of 464 St. Quartz, but it also kind of St. Quartz, but it kind of varies wildly depending on how many missions are completed and stuff like that. It's all very messy. I don't know the answer to this. I can't really help you. This is a clairvoyant, like, if the clairvoyance EX is what we have, this is a clear, like, clairvoyance, like, dash across it. I don't know what's gonna happen with this. I can only hope that there's no real big issues about it, that there's no, like, big stink about it, because like I said, it really did kind of like cast this weird shadow over Japan, and it's kind of gone for the other ones. In terms of the stuff like about the Grail live, I've also seen not the Grails, but like the stuff related to casting. I've seen some people think that maybe we wouldn't get that refund, but what I'm gonna say is that they still have to give us the refund, because the same situation is still being applied. It's fucked up. If we don't get that, if for whatever reason they don't give us that at the very least, then they're going to hear some negative feedback from our side, because what the fuck do you mean you're not refunding us on this? I don't care about, like, hey, you're gonna get all the potential grails that you could have gone and casted with all that coin and stuff like that. That's whatever to me. What I care about is that any coins that were used beforehand is given back to us. And I don't accept the reasoning of, well, you should have known, because there's people who play this game who don't know what happens on the JP version of the game. I know, because I make videos on this game, and there's people who tell me I don't know what happens on the JP version of the game. Thank you very much for letting me know. So in that instance, I feel like the fact that they kept that Grail casting thing alive, knowing that in the future there's going to be more Append skills and it's going to need those coins, and some people are unaware of that, no matter what, you can't avoid giving the compensation for that. So I think they will give it for that. But that's basically the easiest way I can sum up this Append skill stuff, is that it was a whole big mess. Hopefully it's not that big a mess when it comes to us, and I hope nobody gets mad if we don't get the 120 quartz. I don't really think we are entitled to that. It's something that I think it would be a smart thing if they wanted to avoid getting any potential mix-up problems. But I also am of the frame of mind of, if we don't get it, I understand, because it's really hard to say, like, yeah, there was an issue in Japan, why are we getting St. Quartz because there was an issue 2 years ago, if our comes out perfectly fine and stuff like that. And I understand the argument of, they make plenty of money, they should just give us the St. Quartz. I agree with you on that. I just think that they should, the smart thing to do would probably just to give us more St. Quartz through just like gifts and stuff through like streaming or something like that. I don't know. It's a tricky situation. Hopefully I've explained it good enough. Hopefully I've explained myself good enough. It's never going to be an easy thing. And now the dark cloud fades away, and let's finally wrap this up, because we're going to talk about the summon campaigns. That's right, everyone. Our anniversary unit is going to be Space Eresh, with the rate up craft essence being Flames of Applause. The 5-star gives 50% starting NP charge, NP overcharge level +1 one time, and critical damage +5%. We have Crown in August, which is a star absorption +300%, arts +3%, and NP damage 5%. And Welcome to the Expo, which is... Oh, excuse me, I've been talking for so long that I'm losing the saliva in my voice. Welcome to Expo. +1 stars each turn, critical damage +3%, NP damage +3%, and then the new craft essences not on rate up are the King of Tsukimihara and Academy. King of Tsukimihara Academy, which is party attack +10% for 3 turns. It's a 5-star. Shinji tank attack, 4-star. Debuff chance +12% and critical damage +5%. And then in terms of the other summoning campaigns, we have these are going to be the new banners. They're going to be kind of here for about 4 days, and then they're going to be a new one every day for a good amount of time here. So the first banner should be Yangafoy and Summer Osaka Bihime. Then it's Telemeos and Summer Nitocris. And then it is Sasankama and Summer Nobunaga. Then it is Kintoki and Summer Camilla. And then it is Kenshin and it is Shinpachi. And then after them, it is going to be Merlin and it is going to be Gareth. Merlin with Gareth, and then after Summer Gareth, I should say. And then after that, it's Sherlock Holmes and Cagliostro for the last of these banners right here. The rate up craft essences are going to be the same, and including the non-rate up craft essences are also going to be the same. And those are the main 2 summon banners. I'm not going to talk about all of the ones here just yet, mainly because I want to make sure that they're actually all going to be the ones that are going to be there. They've had it in the past where I think they've exchanged a unit out once or twice. So just to be sure, I'll wait to see when they actually come out. But we can talk about Space Eresh. So let's start talking about her right now. So Space Eresh, she is a limited servant. She's a beast. She has 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, 5 hits on quick, 4 hits on arts, 4 hits on buster, and 5 hits on extra. In terms of her class advantage slash disadvantage, for class advantage, she has advantage against Ruler, Mooncaster, Ruler, Moon Cancer, Alter Ego, Foreigner, Pretender. Sorry, my tongue. The video's been going on way too long, man. And then in terms of disadvantage, she has disadvantage against Avengers specifically. Her active skills are Goddess Sugar A, increases party's attack for 3 turns, increases party's NP damage for 3 turns, charges party's NP gauge, increases party's instant kill resistance for 3 turns, and then a 500% chance to inflict poison with 500 damage for 3 turns to the party. This is considered a demerit. 20% to attack, 20% to NP damage, 20% to NP plus, and 100% to def resistance on a cooldown of 6. Her second skill is Beast Driver B, gains critical stars, increases own star absorption for 1 turn, grants self buff on attack buff for 1 turn, increases own critical damage for 1 turn when normal attacking. This activates first and then charges own NP gauge. 20 crit stars, 500% to absorption, crit damage is 100%, and the NP up is 50% on a cooldown of 7. Her third skill is Missing Starling EX, grants self invincibility for 2 attacks 3 turns, grants self gut status for 1 time 3 turns, recovers own HP, removes own debuffs, increases own buff removal resistance for 1 time 3 turns, and then reduces own skill cooldown by 2, revives with 3000 HP, heals for 3000, and buff removal resistance is 100%, and this is on a cooldown of 7. Her passive skills are Anti-Magecraft EX, grants self a debuff immunity for 3 times. Spatial Storage A, grants self a buff on attack buff, charges own NP gauge by 5% when normal attacking. Goddess Essence E-, Authority of the Beast E-, increases own critical damage against servant enemies by 20%. Independent Manifestation E-. And then Infinity Indicator EX. Space Ereshkigal has Master Affection Gauge. The gauge has levels, starting at level 1 and going up to a maximum of level 10. Performing specific actions with Space Ereshkigal will increase her Master Affection with each 10 points, increasing the level by 1. The affection points reset after each battle. Actions that increase the Master Affections are having her at bond level 5 or higher, that's +5. Putting her in one of the first 3 team slots, that's +5. Deploying her on the waterside battlefield, that's another +10. Selecting one of her valid command cards, that's +3. Performing a Brave Chain with her, that's +6. Using one of her skills, that's +3. Using one of her skills first on a turn, that's +2. God damn, this woman, she really wants your attention. Activating her Noble Phantasm with Overcharge being 200% or higher, that's a good +5 per stage. Being affected by Mystic Code, +5. Being targeted by a command spell, that's +10. When Space Ereshkigal is used as a friend support, this is a special note here, she does not have the Master Affection gauge. The initial Master Affection level is set to 0. The affection points does not increase. Don't get your weird stories out of here. She only has eyes for the specific master who summoned her. And then the affection increases include special Mystic Code skills that can be used, order change, and in some battles, also excluding Spirit Origin Restoration by command spell, reviving all members if party is wiped. The name. So at level 0, the value is -1, and then you get to level 1, it's 0. She considers you a mate. And then when you get to around level 4, you get the buddy. And then when you get to level 7, it's darling, which is true for most relationships if you've never been in one. If you keep increasing the affection gauge, it does actually kind of go up. You go from hey mate to my buddy to darling. Though I guess most people probably wouldn't start with mate. I guess it kind of depends on the person. If you're from another place who goes like, hey mate, I guess that makes sense. This has no effect, so I won't be saying that for various reasons. But it's Space EX. And then reach bond level 15, Guidance of the Visionary Flames, which that's not here yet. I didn't mention this for an update, but I would really love it if they added this update for the update. That would be great. And then her third Append skill is an Anti-Rider Attack Damage Aptitude, because I guess fuck specifically Ishtar. Summer Ishtar. Her Noble Phantasm is the Eden Shugra Collapsar, the Beast Crown shining at the end in the end of the universe. Rank EX, anti-unit. It hits 5 times. It's arts. If own Master Affection level is 4, buddy or higher, increases own instant kill success rate by 100% for 1 turn, this activates first. If own Master Affection level is 7, darling or higher, grants self 2 buff below. Grant self-ignore defense for 1 turn, activates first. Grant self-ignore invincibility for 1 turn, activates first. If own master affection gauge is 10, destiny, gain 50 crit stars. This activates first. Then deals damage to all enemies, deals 100% plus 10% and extra damage to them. Own master affection gauge level, and then remove their offensive buffs, and then a 60% chance to instant kill them as well. The note here is that if own master affection level is 4 or higher, instant kills will always succeed against mob enemies that have 100% death rate, basically the bronze rarity, which is really good. Is the easiest way of saying it. At MP level 1, it's 450%, and if you get her all the way to MP level 5, it's 750%. And then her overcharge effect is an increase to own master affection points. This activates first. At charge level 1, that's no extra master affection gauge. At charge level 2, it's 5, then 3, it's 10, 4, it's 15, and if you get her all the way to the maximum charge, that's 20. I had to say it that way specifically because of how important the master affection gauge is to Space Eresh. In terms of ascensions, I don't talk about that. The video has been going on too long. Epitaph of the Star Sword is her bond CE. When equipped, the Space Eresh increases on NP damage by 30%, and then increases on crit damage against servant enemies by 30%, and then increase own master affection level by 1. And that, my friends, is Space Eresh. How is she? I think she's really good. I think the most important thing about me is that it's Eresh, and they could have literally made her one of the worst units in the world, and I would still be summoning. Because I really like Eresh, and this is also her way of finally getting a summer servant as well, because stage 1 is actually summer mode, so this counts as a summer. This counts technically as her summer unit, because I've been waiting a very long, everyone was waiting for a very long time. But then, of course, from that point on, she's no longer a summer, and she's now more space themed. I think it looks really cool. I kind of like the gimmick that she has going around with the master affection gauge. I think it kind of adds an interesting level of how interesting it is. I think some of the negative points about her are, if I can say them here, are pretty understanding of it, because of course, because of how the master affection gauge works, you can't really use a friend's of her. Like, the only reason you would ever show, I guess, your Space Eresh in the Masters support list is to just say specifically, yo, I got my girl. You will not be able to use the master affection gauge with her, but man, I put so much effort into her that you have to check her out. I like her that much. And the other thing that's, I guess, kind of note is the fact that you get the overcharge increases your master affection points. It probably means you do need a couple more NP copies than would be possible. Like NP1, the fact that you won't be able to charge at least to 200%, so you'll be at 100%, which gives you 0, that kind of sucks. That just means that this overcharge effect basically says you don't have an overcharge effect at charge level 1. You get nothing. Not good, not great. I think that if I don't think she probably needs a buff, but I would like it whenever it happens sometime down the road. If they could change this overcharge effect to maybe give her a little bit more, that would be kind of neat. I guess another thing to say is that she is also specific, which I guess also comes into the idea of needing multiple NP copies, is that her specific bonuses are units you do not fight a whole bunch, because it is Ruler, Moon Cancer, Alter Ego, Foreigner, Pretender, and unless you are doing some specific ordeal call where you are fighting a lot of that enemy, or you are in a very specific fight, the chances of you running into a lot of them are not very high. So you probably want more damage out of her. Some more NP copies would be pretty good. I think I saw someone say NP3 minimum would be really good for her, just because it helps with the damage and stuff like that. I can't verify any of that because, again, like I said, this is all secondhand info. I'm gonna find out myself when I get her. But of course, having said all that, you have to understand it doesn't matter if you sorry about that. Someone came home, so I had to quickly stop recording and go say hello to them, but it gave me time to get a drink of water at least. But as I was saying, none of that really matters to me. I love Eresh. I absolutely love her, so I have over 400 tickets ready to go for her. I definitely hope to get some form of MP copies of her, a good amount of them, maybe around NP3, I would hope. We'll see how much it ends up doing it. It's also possible, the last time I did this with Summer Ibuki, I got around NP4, which was pretty happy about it, and then I was able to get her NP5 for multi a little bit later on. I would love it if my luck was the exact same like that, but you can't guarantee it. But I'll be happy if I even get one copy, because this is a unit I've been waiting for an extremely long time. When they announced her, this was a no-brainer. Yeah, this is who I want to save towards. This is my girl. This is what I want her, and I will gladly play with her regardless of how good she ends up being. If she lacks damage, I'll find a way to compensate with that. If she makes fights go long, it takes me longer to finish a fight than compared to if I had more copies of her or something like that, I will learn to live with it. It's just one of those kind of cases. But if you're someone who's like wondering, hey, should I summon? I think she's still a really solid unit, but just know that in some of the things about her is just that, there are some negatives to the things she does, but she does sound like a really fun unit to, at least to me, it sounds fun to kind of like keep balance of everything. Though it does make it a little bit hard to like actually try her yourself when if you see her on the friends list, then it's kind of like, oh, well, you don't have really any affection towards me. So I can't fully take advantage of you, which kind of sucks, but you know, I understand why they did it the way they did it, I think. Anyway, that finally comes an end to this video. I don't know how long this video is actually going to end up being, but I've been recording now for likely 2 hours trying to make sure I got the information out there as cleanly as I could get it. So I thank you very much. You've made it all the way here. I appreciate you a whole bunch. I will continue to make some videos that I've been meaning to make, and also hopefully get those GSSR ones done, but at least this one is done and dusted, and I can put this away and say, hey, now just wait for the anniversary to come. Nothing to do but do the waiting. So thanks again very much for watching. If you want to show support, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next adventure. Until next time, everyone, bye bye, peace out, bye. How do you say Gilles de Reyes' name?
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Specifically French, I guess?
Yeah.
It's very... it's... Gio Dure.
Okay, you don't... I'm not saying that every single time. He's Gilles de Reyes.
Because G is like a ZH. Gio Dure.
Gilles de Reyes.
No, you're not saying that. You did Gillis for so long.
I have been saying Gilles for so long, but let's move on. Thank you very much for stopping me down for pronunciation corner.
セーバージルドレ